What keeps a company's privacy program honest, effective, and accountable? The answer? Privacy audits. In this video, I'll walk you through an overview of privacy audits. Why do we need one? And how can we benefit from it? Privacy audits are formal tools used to ensure that an organization's privacy program is properly maintained. While regular monitoring may be performed by functional managers and privacy program personnel, audits are different. They are performed by someone independent, someone who's not responsible for the area being reviewed. This independence makes audits more objective and strengthens accountability for those responsible for data privacy and protection. Generally, there are 3 different types of privacy audits. Internal audits, also known as first-party audits, are conducted within the organization by its own employed auditors. External audits, or third-party audits, are performed by independent outside entities, such as independent firms, regulators, and accredited auditors of standard-setting bodies. And then, there are second-party audits. These occur when an organization audits its vendors, contractors, or data partners. Organizations may want the right to conduct second-party privacy audits. But why? That is to ensure that their vendors, contractors, suppliers, and other partners sustain data privacy protections, as promised in their contracts. The right to perform second-party audits is usually established in the contract as well. Now, no matter what categories of audits you're using, the purpose of privacy-related auditing is to make sure that data protection policies and procedures are implemented, maintained, and adequately meet the standards set by policies, rules, and regulations. Audits can vary in scope and objective. The scope or focus of an audit may be a narrow examination of something like records retention practices, or they may target an entire privacy program. Audits have defined objectives. Sometimes, these objectives are dictated by regulations or industry standards. Let's talk about some of the commonly targeted areas during privacy audits. Some of these audits are verifying compliance with privacy policies and standards. Audits in this category focus on examining the potential gaps between documented policy and actual practice. This provides assurance that the business practices in place follow your written privacy policy, and that employees comply with the policy as they go about their work. If an organization's business practices don't match its privacy policy, then you have the risk of privacy and compliance problems. For example, if a company shares or sells customer data, despite stating in its privacy policy that it does not, it may face regulatory scrutiny or enforcement actions for engaging in unfair or deceptive practices. Ideally, regular compliance monitoring will prevent this misalignment between policy and practice, but formal audits provide more objective assurance. Audits of data quality and integrity examine information systems, controls, safeguards, and other data management practices. When they're closely aligned with the information security program, these data management practices are intended to ensure that all data is up to date, complete, and accurate. Sustaining rigorous data integrity and quality is a pillar of building trust with stakeholders. For this reason, audit findings related to data integrity should be communicated to appropriate stakeholders clearly and in a timely manner. When an audit reveals problems, you should address them immediately. Covering those problems up can do far more damage to reputation and trust. And data quality and integrity are necessary for managing good business processes, as well as for complying with data privacy regulations. In many jurisdictions, data subject rights are strictly upheld. Organizations are required to disclose the personal data that they hold about an individual and give reasonable access if needed. Individuals can also correct any incorrect or outdated information about them, as well as delete that information upon the individual's request. These exercise or rights should be aligned with other jurisdiction-specific regulations. Assuring these privacy rights requires that data integrity and quality are maintained in the first place. Audits of information access, modification, disclosure, and accounting test the access controls used by an organization. These access controls may be technical, administrative, and physical. Technical controls include authentication methods, like passwords, as well as systems and procedures for managing employee accounts and levels of access within information systems. Administrative controls include practices like training and oversight. Physical controls include facility security, locks, fences, and monitoring or surveillance systems. Organizations should have policies that control access to private data and procedures for managing that access. Organizations should also have processes for logging and monitoring changes to personal information. If personal information is altered, deleted, extracted, or moved inappropriately, then the organization relies on logs to track those changes, and ideally to help restore the data to its proper state. If data integrity or quality is damaged, either accidentally or maliciously, logging and monitoring allow the organization to detect the problem and intervene. Disclosure accounting is the practice of keeping records of any disclosures of private information made as an exception to the private policy or applicable regulations. Audits in this area seek to ensure that all non-standard disclosures have been reported as required. In today's data-driven world, privacy audits are essential. They don't just check compliance. They protect trust, strengthen accountability, and ensure organizations do what they promise. That's it for now. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.